Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to repot one of my largest trees, my European Buckthorn. It's going to be quite a challenge. I got the tree outside because it's too big to repot here in the greenhouse. And outside today it's very cold and windy, so I think I'll do all the work outside and show you updates as I go. There is a look at the buckthorn out on the bench. So my first step, it has a lot of weeds on the top of the soil, and I need to kind of dig down, find the root base, expose it, and that'll be my first step for the repotting, is to clean up the surface of the soil. Here is a look at the surface of the soil. So it's got that Irish moss on it. There's moss growing up the roots. You can see there's a couple of roots exposed here. So the tree is starting to leaf out. I see a few dead branches, but most of them look like they survived, which is typical on a buckthorn to get dieback. I've got my tweezers and my toothbrush, so I'll head outside now and get the surface of the soil cleaned up and remove that moss from the base of the trunk. So my goal is to bare root this tree if I can. I've repotted it before, but it was more of a slip pot. I never really got into the roots in detail. I have been working away over an hour, and I've got the weeds off the surface of the pot. So my next step, I want to kind of dig in the soil, exposing the surface roots. I've never done a full kind of proper repot on this tree yet, so today will be the day. So I'll get out my watering can and I'll start digging around, trying to expose all the surface roots. I'm finding some roots that are kind of crossing, they're not radial, so I'm going to cut those away. Try and dig it out of here. There we go. And I'll keep working away, trying to expose the roots. So this tree was discarded. It was sitting on a compost heap all summer. So a lot of these fine surface roots are dead up here. They must have dried out, so I'm removing those, trying to get down to some thicker roots, trying to find kind of the true root base of the tree. There's a lot of roots that are kind of wrapped around the trunk that I'm pruning away. And I'm thinking it's probably time to get the tree out of the pot now so I can kind of work on the roots more. So here I go. I'll get the tree out of the pot. It's definitely loose. That is out. So I will set the tree down over here. So from about here back is new bonsai soil I added to this pot. I got this tree towards the end of summer, so I basically had to slip pot it. And this was the only pot I had, and it was a good size for the tree. So it'll be interesting to see how the roots have grown into the new bonsai soil. It's nice and warm here in the greenhouse, but it's very cold outside. My hands are very cold. So I'll continue, chopsticking, combing, raking out the roots, trying to get the tree bare rooted. I think it'll take quite a while. This repot may even take 2 days, I'm not sure, but I'll see what I can get done today. It's time to move the tree over to the washing station. I've loosened up as much of the soil as I can. So I think the next stage is to wash the roots and keep trying to get soil out of the root base. But it's coming along nicely. I am encountering a few big roots in here from when it was collected, but it's looking good. So over to the washing station now. Okay, into the water it goes. It's still very heavy, this tree. There'll still be a lot of soil in that root base. So I don't think rotating the tree around in the pot is going to be a problem. I've got the root base quite compact. I've got the root base washed as much as I can, so I'm going to take it back to the table now and keep working on the roots, trying to get more soil out and get more roots untangled. Okay, back to work on the tree. So I've got a root here that's wrapped around. Let's see if I can get that freed up. I know now why the tree is so heavy. I'm down to kind of the original soil that the tree was growing in, and there's all kinds of gravel chunks that I'm finding. Quite a layer of it, so that's what's making it so heavy. So I've got to dig out the bottom of the root base, get all that old field soil out. I've got the bottom of the root base pruned back as far as I can. I was getting into some thick kind of roots of the tree there. So that's about as low as I can go with the root base on the bottom. So I'm going to continue sorting out these surface roots, and I'll have to do some root pruning. There's, some big thick roots in here that are crossing. So I'll just have to come in and cut them out and try and get the root base, fairly radial. There's some here I can prune back. This one's kind of crossing. Where's it come from? Right there. This one's sticking up. Get rid of this one. A few more sticking up here. Trying to get the root base to flow down nice into the soil. That one's too high. It's one of those ones. That root's kind of wrapping around. Sticking up here. That one's going to go. Here's a big crossing one in here. Yeah, that one might be hard to get out. I think I'll just have to cut it. I have got the root base sorted out on the tree. So here it is. That's as good as I can get it. It's taken me the whole day to do that. But it's looking good. So I'm going to pot it up tomorrow. I'll leave it in the tub of water tonight. And I think the front of the tree was somewhere somewhere about here. So here's what the root base looks like on the front. It looks pretty good. It's not bad anyway. Yeah, so that's the tree, bare rooted, ready for planting. It'll be exciting to get it in a pot. It is the next day now, day 2 of repotting the buckthorn. I'm going to prepare the pot first, get drainage screens in and a base layer of soil, and then I'll position the tree. I've got my drainage screens in place. I'm going to add a layer of the Bonsai Supply soil to the bottom. It's quite a coarse soil. It'll be good for a drainage layer. So here I go. That finishes that bag off. Next, I have to position the tree, and I have to see what height to put it at, and that'll determine how much soil I pile up underneath the tree. Okay, here comes the tree. So the front of the tree is somewhere about here, and in that position it doesn't quite fit in the pot. It's a little, the roots are a little long front and back. So, well, that will mean just a little trimming. It's not too bad. It's just a few roots sticking out the front and a few out the back. As for the height in the pot, it's quite high. I'm definitely going to have to lower it a bit. So I have some fine roots sticking out the front that'll have to get pruned off. It's getting closer. At the back I have a few fine roots I'll have to prune off. Okay, that's got the front trimmed nicely. Just a little bit more at the back, I think. A few roots going a funny direction anyway, so good to prune those away. I have to reposition. Yeah, I think that's fitting in quite nicely now. There's a little bit of room for growth out the front and the back. I was very worried I wouldn't be able to rotate the tree around in the pot, but I think it's fine. Okay. Maybe I've gone a little too far with my rotation. I like that as the front view. I think that's looking good. Yeah. Now, the position in the pot. Left to right. Difficult decision. It's a fairly symmetrical tree. Well, let me try it. I'll try offsetting it to the right-hand side, see how that looks, and then I'll try it to the left-hand side and see how that looks. So the center of the pot is about here. So let's try it more over this side. That doesn't look right to me for some reason. Yeah, I don't like that so much. Let's try it to the other side. That's basically where I had it, I think. Maybe closer to the center. Yeah, I think I like it kind of central in the pot. I mean, it's a little bit offset, but not much. I think it could come forward a bit more still. Yeah, that's getting better. Okay, I think that'll be the position in the pot. I'm very happy with that, actually. And I'll have to work this all carefully into the roots. I think I'll use my stainless steel chopstick. It reaches in there really nicely. Nice and deep. Look at that sun now. That's fantastic. I thought it was going to be a rainy day today. After all that thunder and rain, it was looking pretty gloomy out, but things are looking better now. Okay, I'll add a bit more soil. Tree's feeling pretty firm in the pot now. I'm just taking another look at the tree. I'm still happy with the position. I think it's looking good. I can give the tree a water now. All right, here I go with the water. I think this soil will suck up a lot of water. And I'll water the tree several times today, just so the soil can soak up all that water. Okay, the tree is watered. Repotting is almost complete. The last thing I want to do is place some good heavy stones on top of the surface of the soil to hold the tree in place. And that will be it. I'll move it back to the poly house. And hopefully it'll recover and grow really nicely this year. I'll wait until I get the tree in the poly house to place the stones on top. That'll make it easier to lift. So that is the repotting. So I've got some nice surface roots here. It's looking pretty good. I knocked a little bit of the flaky bark off the bottom, but not too much. I was trying to be very careful. So the tree's looking good. It has this kind of weird crossing branch at the front, but I don't know. It's an interesting feature, I guess. I don't want to cut it off, at least not yet. It's possible, you know, as this tree gains vigor, it'll grow more branches, and I can remove that eventually. The canopy's looking pretty good on the tree.
You can see the leaves are just starting to come out on it now. So that's the buckthorn repotted. It's hopefully on its way as a bonsai. It was a lot of work sorting out those roots, but I hope it's worth it. I think it will be. I'll show you my other buckthorn. Here's my other buckthorn. This one was in the greenhouse for the winter. So you can see every branch survived the winter, and it's leafed out and it's looking really good. Yeah, so hopefully I'll see leaves like this on the big ones soon. Okay, into the poly house it goes. So the buckthorn is a lot lighter after getting rid of all that old soil. It was full of gravel, clay. Yeah, it's quite easy to lift now. So this is its home until it starts growing with vigor. Yeah, it's a cool looking tree. Very old, deadwood on the trunk. That's one of the reasons I rotated the front. Got cool character, and I just hope it recovers and grows with vigor. It was a big repot, but it's what it needed. My American elm is also in the poly house here, and you can see it's leafing out now. It's not out of the woods yet, but I'm hoping this one also recovers and grows with vigor in its new pot. It's another cool looking tree.
So that is it for the big repotting of my buckthorn. Those big trees are a lot of work, but I think, as I said, every repotting after this will be a lot easier because I know all the basic root structure is sorted out, so it's just a matter of kind of trimming the new roots back and selecting roots as they grow in. But it's nice to have a few large trees in your collection. They look good at shows, you know, they're big and impressive. Lots of character on this buckthorn, so now I'll just keep my fingers crossed. I've done everything I can to ensure the survival of the tree. The rest is up to Mother Nature. So that is it for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.